about now? Is it working? I think I'm here. Hold on, let's see. Let's see if I'm here. It's all I think it's the same thing every time. I think it's the same thing every time. Let's see. Yeah, I guess. Can you hear me? I know you can't see me. It's the same thing. I set this up this morning too. All right, let's see. Let's see if I do this. Nope. uh, all right, let me think. Let me see if I can hear myself. I think enough time has passed where I'd be able to hear myself talking. All right, all right, all right, all right. I'm good. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Hello, everybody. The Invisible Man, right? So this is perfect time for like Halloween. I set it up exactly how I wanted to do it. All right, this is just real quick. Watch this. Prepare to be amazed. Not really. Prepare to be underwhelmed. If I hit this button, go to properties. Here it comes. Wait. All right. Well, that didn't work. We go back to the 1 minute time. All right, we go back to this without the timer. It's awesome. This is so fun. I absolutely love this. This is great. The 1 minute timer is not even supposed to be on, or excuse me, the 30-minute timer is not supposed to be on. Maybe I just don't stream. Maybe I just don't do this. This is wild. Uh, how's everybody doing? This is great. All right, let's catch up in the chat real quick. Yep. So we got a fourth beer for Randy. I got my monster. Might as well pop that open. Gosh. Time is relative. That's right. I was a tad early. No, I think I was a tad late. Yeah, no chance. TC was right on that. What's up, TC? Lucky Aces. I scroll up. I can see Motobomb. What's up, neighbor? Man, Paul's Moto's in. What's up, buddy? Yeah, you're on time. I'm not. All right, let's see if I can figure this out real quick. Golly, man. I think I got to unplug my camera. Unplug and it's on the OBS side. Well, it's really on my side, actually. Let's step back on that. All right, so the 30-minute timer's off. That's off. Try again. Did it work? Nope. This is so fun. How's everybody doing? Let's try this. We'll delete it. Yep, I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to rebuild it. I was talking about OBS and StreamYard. Yeah. It's fantastic. Okay. Dude, this is wild. Fantastic. I think we're going to do this right now. Oh, dang, nothing's working. This is wild. All right, the biggest thing is that we don't panic, okay? We just don't panic. I set up lights. I had all kinds of stuff going here. But I can say I did everything and nobody will know. Let me try that again. IT department's here. Did you plug it in and plug it back in? Or turn it off, turn it back on, unplug it? All right, might be webcam today. Crazy. Well. It's webcam. Boom, I'm here. Dude, I don't even know. Let me turn this off. Let me get back to the chat on my phone. Ah, man. Tough life. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Oh my god, dude. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say other than I apologize yet again. I'll try to mess with it in a little bit. I just want to get it started or whatever. Man. When we talk about two various other I hate the word YouTubers. Ugh. It's funny, I hate YouTuber, I hate content creator or content or whatever, but like motovlogger doesn't bother me. Like and it's a motovlogger is like a like it's subcategory, it's a sub niche. It's a niche within YouTube. So why does YouTube not or YouTuber not bother me? Or why does it bother me? I have no idea, but whatever. So, all right, let's just get into it. Oh man, I got to get this straight. I think Moto Alley, I'm gonna get to you in a second. I think that you're right though, man. Like as far as your milestone, your accomplishment, because actually, let's do that first, man. Let's congratulations, dude. Congratulations. I know that was a big deal. It is a big deal. It's a huge milestone. For like those of you who don't know, pretty much everybody knows. And I see it was popped up in the chat. So we hit 1,000 subscribers just yesterday or day before today. I don't know, but I know that the video came out today. So man, congratulations, dude. So that's awesome. It's quite a bit. And then if you think about it, it's kind of how I've referenced. Oh, you can see. Nice. Yep. Just remember which camera's on. But if you feel like if you think about it, 1,000 people in one area like that deemed your stuff, your content, good enough that they want to see more of. And I know you don't. I take. I know you do as well. Don't ever underestimate that. We don't. Nobody would at this point. It's one of those things because there's a lot of people out there that have a little bit of time and they choose to watch videos like yours or broken streams like mine. So anyway, going to the chat. Let's see. Lucky, yeah, time is relative. I'm right there. Can't hear, can't see. All right, we can hear you. Okay, good. Audio's in. Everything, everything's fine. Paul, yeah, Paul. That's exactly it, man. Everything's fine. It's always fine. All right, yep. So he's Moto Alex always working when I stream. So that's pretty funny. Yeah, pop in, pop out. Don't get in trouble. Make that money. Make them ducats. Congratulations. Let's see. The stream is haunted. Exactly. So like clearly here I am like set up a light. It's not a big deal, but set everything up and my thing was like I tried to like have everything squared away and build like a place where I could like instead of having my Nikon up where I have to like set it up, tear it down, break it down, go if I want to take it to work or if I want to take it to like a photo shoot, if I want to go out there and take some pictures and stuff or video, like I'd have to break it down. And this, I bought a system or I bought equipment where I could just kind of set it and forget it. Well, I can't because it's very flawed. What I'm very flawed, it's flawed, and it's a combination of the two. Like negative times negative should make a positive, right? But for this whole setup, yeah. But this would be perfect. That's what I was mentioning. Like when we talk about 5 minutes ago, I was talking about it. We talk about having somebody else with you on the stream, and I could set this up, and the other person could talk now. It'd be perfect. It'd be perfect. But yep, that's such as life. Yeah, this is my bad. So this is more of a reason, like I said, modality. This I was gonna say before I hit you up about your channel. More of a reason to like, I guess, practice and go live and stuff. I don't know. Here's what we're gonna go over today, in case you missed it, and that timer won't go away for some reason, even though I have it blinded that it should not be up there on the stream. Wait. Oop, there we go. Fixed it. That's one thing I fixed. Congratulations, me. You did something right. Anyway, so go over the Instant Action Plan IAP is the future mini series that I'm about to start making. Episodes 129, 130, and 131 conversations, video comments that y'all have bestowed upon me, and I love it. Love interacting with y'all. Some Halloween stories and movies. That's kind of like the bulk of what I want to do. I just want to kind of have fun. If I ever get my cameras working right and everything that I plan on working, if it does work, but probably not. And a sneak peek to the next video, which I was actually exporting I was like 30 minutes away from finishing the export, and I ended up restarting my whole computer trying to fix the camera and stuff. So I'll just start all over. It was like a 5.5 hour export or something from Premiere Pro or Media Encoder actually. Let's see. Where are we? Yeah, I love how professional these live streams are, and I really try to, like I said, I try to make. I have a light I'm not using, but I have a light, the light in the back. There's a fill light. All like I learned about lighting. I forgot everything, of course, but I've learned about lighting. I've learned about the OBS and building the scenes and the sources within the scenes. But for some reason, I don't know. I have no idea. Let me try one more time. I mean, I'm probably gonna try more than one. Oh, look at this. And like I even at that stupid camera. Hmm. Hmm. Like I was even building stuff. Now you can see what I'm doing. Like the Wizard of Oz over here. That's breaking everything. Wild. So this, that, properties. Be a new one. Add source, camera, video capture, existing. Be right there. It's that easy to be right there. Fit to screen. I don't know. I don't know. This is here we go again. It is what it is, I guess, at this point. All right, whatever. We're back. I think we're just gonna run it like this. That's what it is. There's my backup camera. All right, finishing up on the chat. Man, that is so disappointing. But the show must go on, right? As they say. Let's catch up here. Don't schedule it. Just yeah, post it out this way, and no technical issues. I love how professional these live streams are. Audio sounds great. I got that. Brasco had an issue with one of his cameras last live stream. Must be a thing. Try a different USB port. Yeah. Everybody panic. That's exactly it. Oh man. And then Motor Alley, compared to 500,000 channel subs, it's not much, but it takes a lot of hard work. A lot of work. And you know the work. Yeah, absolutely, man. But the grand scheme of things, man, I have so many ideas of like different videos to pop out. And it's just about time. As y'all know, like whatever, full-time job, part-time job on top of that. And this is, it takes quite a bit of time. It's just like today, I'm on my third. This is Wednesday, obviously, in case you didn't know. Well, some of you are on Thursday, TC. Some of you into the next day. But how much that goes into this, blah blah blah, whatever. Everybody knows that. That like when I was gonna pop in for a live, actually I was about to do it yesterday, but I had today, so I figured, what's I don't want to over like saturate or whatever. I don't know. That's just one thing I always thought. Like I didn't want to do, even though that's just in my own head. Yeah, OBS. Yeah. Steven Turner, what's up, buddy? What's up? What's up? What's up? And then one of the best names, pretty name guy. I'm getting over a cold too, so if I cough, sorry. It will all work out. Yeah. All right. So Randy says, let's go. Gotta move this. It was better when the chat was up there, but I can read it. Gotta move it. Stupid little hearts in the way. When you get it all figured out, and let us know how to do it. I'm 51 and I haven't ridden in 30 years, debating between a Rebel 500 and a Shadow 750. May vlog later, private or public. So if you're saying, dude, this is awesome. This is, yeah. All right. So Randy, the either one, obviously Honda, like awesome, right? The My quote unquote expertise is obviously in the Honda Shadow, the 750. Love the bike, love it. 745, they say 750, but 745 cc, 43 horsepower. Man, we would break that down between the two. The Rebel would be, they're both forgiving bikes. Put it that way. A 500 and a 750 are both forgiving bikes. And the fact that you rode before, and then you're looking at, what'd you say, 30 years, something like that? Yeah, haven't ridden in 30 years. It's gonna be wild, like that. It's gonna come back. And 30 years is a long time, and I think that's pretty cool that you're venturing back in. So like when you were, a young adult becoming an adult, you're riding motorcycles, whether it's motorcycle or dirt bike, if you want to throw in what you used to have. But both will be like perfect as far as like a starter bike. Like a 750 is a starter bike, a 500 is a starter bike, a Rebel 300 is a starter bike. It's on the smaller end. Um, the MSF course. So if you still have your license, I don't know the deal with that. If you still have your motorcycle endorsement, um, still after 30 years, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take the course, the weekend course, the MSF course. I always like vouch for them. I always give them props because every time I think about, there's two things I think about: the Fire Academy, basically 20 years ago, how much fun I had, how much I enjoyed that group of people. I'm still surrounded by a lot of those people where I work still that were kind of like we're sporadic. It pales in comparison of what graduated, but like those people are still around 20 years later, which is pretty funny between the three shifts and my little area of the city. But the Fire Academy and my MSF course for the weekend. First day was like classroom. First night, I should say, was classroom. I was Friday night, study material, went over some stuff, and then Saturday and Sunday morning was riding and a test, a road test. And I say road, you don't even go on the road. It's just mine was like in a big open like platform near the. It was in Portsmouth, Virginia, Bayside Harley, and they basically use that as a permanent like riding course and everything. And heart of the teacher, all the instructors. It was awesome to see like the Fire Academy with all walks of life, different backgrounds, different reasons for getting the fire department. The same could be said about the people here that are in the chat. Myself streaming, all these people that make videos. We all have different stories, different reasons why we ride, what got us into riding, why we continue to ride, and some that why we don't ride anymore. And plethora of reasons for that. Didn't think I was going to say plethora today, but I did. And it's just obviously a fantastic community, and a fantastic way to like whether you ride two up, solo, a group ride, a couple, a buddy, here and there or whatever. But it's there's so many like benefits, so many great reasons. So it's awesome that getting you back into it. And as far as we'll bounce to it, I'm fine. As far as filming it, whether it's private or public, that's up to you. I would say get back to writing. And while filming, I remember doing, it sounds silly, but I used to do, I have several videos at this point of, been a year and a half or so, 2 years, but I did a couple videos, well, several videos on it with, on a motorcycle with Uber Eats. And I noticed that even though I felt like the motorcycle was like an extension of me, it's like riding a bike, blah, 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 whatever. I was making silly mistakes because I was focused on something else. So I was focused on, actually, what's up? I was focused on, like the orders and getting to a certain place and making sure like the bag was good and the food was good. So like little stuff like that. And I even made a comment that I noticed I was making small mistakes. So the same can be said if I started riding. Now I didn't have the experience that you did, even though it's 30 years ago. I didn't have the experience, and this is my dog probably telling me she needs to go outside. And I literally was like trying to get her to go outside, and she wouldn't do it. Raining. That's a different story. But my co-host is gonna pop in any minute now and save the day here while I let the dog out. But the same can be said about motovlogging. So if you do it, just be careful. That's all. I mean, you're an adult, 51 years old, so you getting back into it. It's awesome. We welcome you, and it's just awesome to have somebody come back. Not let alone somebody start, but somebody to come back into riding. And imagine 30 years ago, like what was out there on the market or in the market, and then nowadays, like like I don't know, simple things. I made a video about like the perfect bike, and there was all these like certain things, whether it's the aesthetics, the everyday life, cruise control, for example, whether it's pegs or floorboards, certain things that you didn't have back then, or you weren't privy to back then. Plethora and privy. There we go. I'm busting it all out. Stupid rich people words. Pinky up. Speaking of pinky up, oh, so confident. Can't go wrong. Basically, that's what I'm getting at. Long-winded, of course. You stick around long enough, you'll know that. Long-winded. Co-host, I would just talk all over that person, right? Oh. All right, let's see what we got. Think about letting the dog out real quick. Go. You gotta go outside. Outside? 2 seconds. I'm gonna let her out. I'm gonna pay for this because it's kind of raining outside. So is this gonna be bad? And we're back. All right. So she didn't go. Surprise, surprise. She looked out there and she was like, "I'm not going out there. If you're not going out there, I'm not going out there." All right. Yay, OBS. Let's see. Any on paper the shadow. Okay. Yeah. Lucky's extremely knowledgeable about motorcycles. So whatever he's saying, I guarantee you is right. Randy, on paper, the Shadow 750 and the 500 have similar, yeah, very similar power to the weight ratio, but the Rebel is a parallel twin. Boring. You say boring. Yeah. Um. Sorry, I gotta I gotta mute myself when I do that. Got the coughs and the sniffles. I took a bunch of coughs out of my video. I left one in just to prove I was sick. Let's see. But Rebel, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. What's up, Rascal? I think I had something to say to you, other than the Redskins are not doing great. Yeah, they're doing just about as good as my stream right now. As far as this, Rascal, if you missed it, there's a camera here. It's not working, so I'm on my backup. Is what it is. We're gonna work through it. There's a bunch of people that have the Rebel 500 on here. I don't follow anybody that has the 300, but yeah, man, they're so fun. I always say the Shadow. If if I was gonna say something, I would say the Shadow. It gives you. Let me finish that real quick. The Shadow 750, I can vouch for, of course, because of I just like it's a bigger bike, and I don't know, like as far as like your frame and all that stuff, like I feel more comfortable riding the Shadow as far as like if that being my starter bike to the point where now, like I say starter bike, I've been riding that since 2017. Okay, it's a 2011 Honda Shadow Phantom, and I've been riding it this whole time. And there's other bikes out there that I wouldn't mind, like I look at and stuff like that, but there is nothing like the dependability of Honda. It is what it is. There's no like division here, like when it comes to that. Because I said all good things about Harley as far as my dream bike, but or variations of Harley Davidsons, but like I'm like that thing, like if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I've got a good thing going here, and not just with the channel. Obviously, that's a big thing, but if YouTube, if Google, Alphabet, whatever went under and YouTube wasn't a thing, and or my channel just like went away and somehow I couldn't post anymore or whatever, um, I'm still gonna ride the motorcycle. You know what I mean? And honestly, God's honest truth, I would still film and make videos and have nowhere to post them. That's the funny part. I probably would still do that because yeah, I just enjoy it. It's just a lot of fun. But if you film it and do whatever, just make sure that like there's nothing wrong with doing it and seeing what like the camera settings are and whether you make it public or not. That's up to you. That's your prerogative, obviously. But at the end of the day, like and, and I don't really preach safety. I somewhat preach safety, but I wear a helmet. I don't wear, like the proper. I got the right boots, but they're not fastened the way they should be. The jeans, riding jeans versus actually like motorcycle jeans, jackets, stuff like that, like gloves. Like so when I say like just be careful, it's coming from a guy that's not quite careful. Makes sense? Yeah. All right. All right, what we got here? I'm always gonna say his name, Fruity Name Guy. Yeah, I love my Vulcan 650. Just got my ECU flash. Yeah. Okay. More. Yeah, he's gonna get gonna enjoy that even more now. Yeah, there's another guy, Swingless Steve. He just put his bike away, but he's got a Kawasaki Vulcan. And matter of fact, that's in the video. I'm almost positive it's the Vulcan S in my video coming up tomorrow. I think that's when I'm gonna release it, but that's bubble sneak peek. We're not into that yet. And it's like way behind. Oh no, that's me. Okay, my video was way behind because I paused it. All right, I'm back. Trying to read it. Normally the comments are here, and it's been man, live stream was so good. And then the other thing is, I don't know if my lips are matching. Who knows? My lip syncing because I did it last week or 3 weeks ago, excuse me. And I think I watched the playback and it seemed like it was off, but it might have been one spot. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. I thought I finally had like the perfect stream. And then I was off. Then I downloaded it because I don't like watching my own videos and messing with numbers and stuff. And I downloaded it and it was like perfect. So I was like, all right, I have no idea. Doesn't matter. Yep, Paul rides a shadow. Yep, rides a shadow. Arrow 750 makes videos. Let's see. Rebel is lighter. Will probably be a little peppier, but the 750 shadow gives you the V twin sound. I love so adding. I have a Cobra exhaust on mine, and I really enjoy that note, that sound. One of the best things is just like starting up your bike. That's one of the best things, and like shifting through the gears and increasing your throttle and all that stuff, your throttle hand and hearing that. I'll go to work and I can take the bypass to the interstate and live in fifth gear, right? I can live in fifth gear pretty much all the way to work, minus the stoplights, at the very beginning and the very end of my journey, my transit, dare I say. But I'll go the long way with all the lights, like 12, 13 lights or something like that. And in a railroad crossing, Amtrak goes through every day at 6:19 in the morning. So I just go around and go up over the bridge, over the overpass, and then come back down and all that stuff. Ascend to descend. I'll keep using these. They're not fancy words, but add a little color to the stream. But I'll do that to shift to the gears. I was like, what was I gonna say? It made me forget. It's like short-term memory loss. Who's streaming? Oh, I'm streaming. Okay, but that's like one of the best parts. Like just up and down the gears. Intermission. You had to jump out real quick. That's why you gotta be co-host, man. Lucky. I think I jumped ahead. So you rode mostly dirt. Had a '92 Yamaha Deca. Is that if I'm saying it? Deca 2 '93. Oh, we're gonna look that up. Everybody's already looked it up. I'm about to look it up. Hitting all the wrong buttons. All the wrong buttons. Why else would I? Oh, there's the chat. That's easier. 93. Oh yeah. Oh, sports bike. So you're going from which is this? Yeah, here we go. So you're going from sport bike, sport look. That they have different. Yeah, yeah. You'll have fun. I don't think you can go wrong. Like I said, I would always lean. I'd lean towards shadow. Like I said, that's something that you can grow. It's a little more power. People they make videos and they'll go, as a shadow powerful enough to go on the interstate and all this other stuff, and it is, of course it is, and the Rebel can do it too. Depends on the rider and stuff and comfort level, but obviously it's going to struggle just a little bit more. When I ride to work, the speed limit's 60, and honestly, like, I mean, I can do 80. It's not a big deal, but realistically, I hit like 65, 70 the max, and I'll be there, and that's keeping up with traffic. Really, it's not keeping up with traffic. I just don't care to go any faster than that, and I'll pick the slow lane and stuff like that. It's a comfort level. I don't mind. Like, I don't mind riding on interstate and stuff like that. All right, let's see. 92. Oh, I said 93, didn't I? Wait, it's probably the same. Same stuff's popping up. They had okay, so I'm always gonna say it. Fruity name guy. They took the MSF course, and they all had you all on Groms during the whole class. So that's what I was getting at. I had I had a 300 Nighthawk, Honda Nighthawk. That that's awesome. You had Groms. 300. I thought it was 300. 250. 50. I thought they made it 300. This whole time it's been a lie. Well, this basically it. Must not have a 300. Boom. So this is what I wrote on. Uh, and it's fun. I mean, they. That's what I was getting at. They're all people like different variations. So we had Nighthawks. We had old Rebels, old school Rebels before the 3 and the 500. It was just a 250, which is like that thing is bulletproof. I mean, they talk about Hondas and all that stuff, and it's kind of funny, I guess. Much cheaper, of course, than a Harley. But it's at a Harley dealership. It wasn't necessarily like affiliated with them. It's just one of those things that they it's a separate entity. So, but they had all these Hondas stored in like storage containers and stuff. But that would be fun. Yeah, ride around a bunch of Groms. There's a dirt bike, um, Rebel 250. I thought it was 300 Nighthawk, but I guess 250 Nighthawk. My buddy had a six. He had a 600. They make it 600. Let's see. Yeah, 650 numbers. That's so awesome. 1985, 1983 Honda DB650 Nighthawk. Yeah. Anyway, just that's up to you. Find a deal, but oh, I'm going Shadow. Motovlogging is fun, but a lot of work during the food deliveries. Yeah, and then the stress about like drinks and stuff. So I did it. It was, of course, it was money, but it's actually a lot of fun. I haven't done it in like over a year now. Different reasons for riding now. No ego, more confident than when I was young, young and dumb. Yeah, that's the other thing. And in the intermission, when I had music, I actually could have played music. Need to before I expand. Be right back or whatever. Because I haven't even changed my logo. I said that 3 weeks ago, and I still haven't done it. Changed my logo for the minute countdown. But before I do that, I need to get this camera right. Ego, fantastic. That I mean that's just something that comes with the territory, and the territory meaning like getting older and wiser, as some of us do. Not everybody, but riding your own ride is so important because you ask somebody else, and they would say that conversation, Rebel 500 and 750. You need a bagger. You need this. Why go there? You need a DBR 1000, whatever leader bike. You need all this other stuff, and it's just like, oh man, it's like I always have this saying at the end, enjoy your ride, or enjoy the ride, and it's not just about, and there's a long discussion in there, but to keep it as short as possible, it's not just like your ride, like your motorcycle, talk about the ride of life and all the other stuff, but all that stuff fits in between. So that's nice to hear that because there's so many people out there like you got to look out for as far as vehicles, pedestrians, people not paying attention. while riding and stuff. And I mentioned, I don't know if it was during a live or a video, but I virtually never look when I'm driving my truck. I never like look at other vehicles, like the driver in there. I just don't care. Like I'll watch their car for, they're going where they're going, and get in my way or potentially obviously signals and brake lights and all that stuff. But when I'm riding a motorcycle, like I actually physically like I look at the car and I look into the window or the windshield and see when this car is, at a stop sign and I'm going straight. I got the right of way and I'm at one of the main roads. I'm still scanning to my right, looking at them and look at the vehicle and their body language. Are they looking at me? And just because they see me or just because they're looking towards me doesn't mean they see me and stuff like that. So there's just so many reasons to get comfortable with your motorcycle and not have that ego like you speak of. So you're gonna be just fine, whatever you get. But that's awesome. When you do get one, uh, when you do get one, or anytime that I'm streaming, which is once every 3 weeks at this point, as far as that like my long stream, and I still haven't done a small one, but I guess that might change relatively soon, just to try to dial in everything. That's why that whole 30-minute timer, most people know already. I have that 30-minute timer where I just plan on going live for 30 minutes and just kind of either talking about something or working on something. And if you stop by, blah, 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 whatever. I've gone over it before. I don't need to waste time on it. Um, Let us know what you get. Let us know what you decide, whether it's public or private. You can always make the videos and figure it out later. But the biggest thing is, and I'll move on. There's probably like 10 more comments that I'm gonna reply to you that you wrote. But just you know, writing comes first, and you know that. I'll leave that one alone. Where am I? I watched Lucky as well. Shout out. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I told Lucky Aces Riding that he was actually the first Honda Shadow like motovlogger that I watched, subscribed to, watched, both. And it's funny like that, that was 3 years ago. I'm the odd duck. Yeah, the fruity name guy. I had camera. Rascal says I had camera issues too last time. I feel you. Yeah, I don't know what it is because it's just not detecting. I've unplugged it. I've restarted it and it worked fine this morning. That's what bugs me, like, with technology, like, it can work perfectly fine, even being, like, on what they call it, multimedia team, the media team for the fire department, like, we can set up and it's fine, and then we go set up the exact same place, 2 months later, 3 months later, and there's a hiccup, and it's like, "Man, like, how? Why?" It's just one of those things, and it's the same thing on, like, a fire truck, like, you have to learn the ins and outs, so if something goes wrong, you can troubleshoot, and it could be something stupid as simple as not putting it in pump gear, not putting it for us, we have to put the transmission back in drive for our particular truck. Um, Now they have trucks like almost like not to get into too much, but that can pump and roll. So you think like an ARF truck or like essentially like a fire truck on an airport that can kind of like roll and pump at the same time. But ours is like you're either driving or you're stagnant and you're pumping, for the anyway, whatever. So, I get on that because it's like, just I don't I don't know why this won't work. It doesn't make sense. It's on. I've unplugged it. I've plugged it back in. I've restarted everything, and I can't troubleshoot it to get it to work. Camera, like, it's on right here. I can see it on. Try one more time. I'm just gonna build a whole new scene to call it scene two. I'm gonna add a source. I'm gonna add existing. This one right here, right there. Man, right there. I'm looking at myself right here, and then this one's on, and I don't even have that one heat up. Man, Maybe I named them like the same thing. I have no idea. Properties. Did I just cut everything off? Probably. It's right there. What is going on? I have no idea. Think we're are we here? There's such a delay that I won't even I won't even see it for a while. 10 seconds, 20 seconds, something like that. Did I do it? Hold on. I gotta catch up with this chat. I think I did it. I did it. You just gotta learn your equipment. You know your equipment, you're good to go. This is easy. I gotta see. Okay, it's right. Should be right. Did it. All right, we're in. That's easy. All right, let's start this stream over. Yeah, let's go back to the beginning. Hmm, this is easy. All right, what else we have? Now let's do this. Let's minimize this. I might get my chat back. Awesome. See, it's just I mean, it's not a big deal. Kind of like an IT guy now. All right, we're good. All right, and I can see the chat here. All right, let's go. Let's go fast here. Oh man. Okay, intermission. Okay, I'm gonna try to get through this pretty quick. A rascal camera issues too. Hey, not anymore, man. I'm in. I'm in. All right. Uh, okay. We are so in. I think I'm not gonna press my luck though, and just have like the one camera of me in this, and then I'll worry about all the other stuff another day. Okay. It's so awesome. I'm back, baby. All right. Rascal Moto Alley. What I miss. Hello, riders here and their bikes is equivalent to those who like to hear themselves talk. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. There should have been a period or comma. I'm just reading it as is. Riders here and their bikes is equivalent to those who like to hear themselves talk. Yeah, I remember like so the other thing. A quick little story on this. I was in a parking lot and like when you first start up your bike, of course it sounds awesome, right? The first time the cold start they call it, right? Everybody knows that. But the cold start, the same thing as when I had my Challenger, Dodge Challenger. Like when you started up in the morning or something like that, sounded awesome, right? And I I remember going to go and I went to get Chinese food. Rascal's here, so I went and get ice water, Gatorade. Yep, I was gonna mix it half and half, right? So, but true story, I went to go get Chinese food for the wife and I, and I came back out and I rode. Excuse me, I rode for like 15 minutes, and when I parked, I grabbed my food and went. And I remember like there's people next to me, and I was gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna start my bike up. I don't want it to scare you." 'Cause I started up and it was like it'd been running for 15, 20 minutes already, and it didn't obviously it didn't sound that bad, and I was like, "Oh." Yeah, oopsie. They're like, "That's it?" That's probably what they said, "That's it?" "My father has a da 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 da." Yeah. Oh, man. His decibel levels would make your ears bleed. There is a cool thing. I found it from Her Two Wheels, another motor vlogger, been around for a while. One of the OGs, one of the first ones I watched back in the day. Her Two Wheels, it's, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I think it's called, which is basically like a motorcycle exhaust that you can yeah, in Mr. Hyde. It is oh, no, 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 no. Go here real quick. Basically, like, you can actually, like, start it up a lot quieter and kinda lower the decibel. a little bit. No, I don't want. I'm not going to. Everybody wants to install something on the computer. No, I'm not doing it. I had to nuke my computer to get rid of all this stuff. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Permission. I got that. Okay, so I'm way back. Lucky plus it's a Shadow 7. I told you, talk to Lucky. Plus a Shadow 750 has the Arrow, the Phantom, the from 0709 had the Spirit, our shaft drive, no chain maintenance, 2010, and new are fuel injected 09 and older are carbureted. And that's funny because so Lucky's got the carbureted 2008, I believe. I enjoy like and it's my mower, of course, my mower's got one carburetor, but like taking it apart. I remember messing with like the choke as far as the Nighthawk, the not 300. It was a 250. I was almost positive it was 300. I had to look at that again. But doing maintenance on your bike, actually like taking it apart and learning it. I saw it's funny. There's it's basically a half a Shadow that's on sale on Facebook Marketplace for like $600 or something like that. No, it's $300. $300, and had the V twin, had the engine still mounted and everything. Tank was on it. I think the tank was on it. Maybe not. But either way, tires, everything. But basically, like the guts of the bike were still there. And I was like, man, I don't think it had handlebars. And I was like, it'd be cool just to get that, just to pull it apart. Like a $300. And now I'm thinking about it. I need to look at it again. Like a $300 just class for myself, and just how to take it apart and stuff. Just to see how everything works, right? I mean, you can go online and see all that stuff, but I always thought it'd be cool to have another bike that you could just like I say like tinker on, right? Just to just to mess with it, before you start diving into your bike. The Vulcan S, yep. I'm back. I'm back like the plague, Motor Alley. Welcome back anytime, man. You yeah, watching Millie Vanilli on live streams. Yeah, is my hopefully it's not my lip syncing isn't off. That's awesome. The black, of course. Yeah, yeah. There's it's funny. There's I've mentioned before. Motor Alley's got a Shadow that's kind of a I guess kind of like almost like a burgundy color, and I've seen like randomly trees is another motor vlogger. He's got a Bonneville, a blue Bonneville, and I love like the way these bikes look from first person from the action camera and stuff like that. I don't think I could ever do it. I don't think I could ever get like, red, white, blue, you name it, different color bike. TC's got another one. He's got an Iron 83, which he upgraded to a 1200, 1100, 1200. I always make it up. I think it's a 1200. But he upgraded that, and his is like it's got some speckles and flakes in it, but it's basically like a green, almost like an army green in a way. I guess it's probably a close way to say it, but they look awesome. They really do. Like, I don't know if I could ever go away from just black. Like, I don't even care for chrome. I've mentioned that before. Everyone hated Milli Vanilli, and now they record themselves lip syncing on the internet. Yeah, everybody does it now. Let's see, fruity name guy. Our highways hit 75 all the time, and a lot of people are going 90. Yeah, that's not me. I mean, it is what it is. You got to keep up with traffic because they say, I mean, you got to go faster than traffic on a motorcycle, realistically, but I'm not the safety guy. Keeping up with traffic is you put yourself in danger. Not the safety guy. There's a random person in here that's just waving, so I'll wave back. Harley Boo, happy Halloween. Yeah. No, Harley, I'm telling you, they're I'm not a hater for sure. Happy Halloween to the stranger. You should attempt to take every order going back to like Uber Eats and stuff. You should can't talk. You should attempt to take every order challenge like a lot of motor vloggers are doing. I was thinking about doing it if I can suck up a cold. Yeah, it is fun. I'll be honest with you. People are like, you do that, and I was like, yeah, man, it's actually a lot of fun, especially on the bike. Like I did it with my truck one year, and it was cool because I was just listening to podcasts, and that was when My dog was, like, fine, like, being by herself, not this dog, the golden we had before, Macy. And, I'd go out for, like, 2, 3 hours a night, listen to a podcast, pause it, go get the order, hit play, know where I was going because it was around my area. It was also another thing, like, no joke, like, you talk about, like, area familiarization for my job, and I was just, like, running around making money, listening to podcasts, no different than and I wasn't making that was before I was making YouTube videos, and it was just like, I don't know, I just enjoyed it. It was fun to get out. Um, I started to, like, recognize, like, where you went, at the bar you went here for, like, the to-go orders and stuff, and they paid a lot better back then too. Now it's like they used to not to get onto it too much, but they used to your Uber, like, what the payout would be is it'd say, like, 4 miles, like, $7, $8 or whatever, and I was like, "Alright, yeah, $2 a mile, take it." And then on top of that, like, 99% of the people, like, tipped around my area at least. So then you got another, like, $5 on top of that, $6, $7, whatever, $4. So then the $8 turned into 12, 13, 14, $15, and I was like, "Man, this is pretty easy." So, no stress, and, it was just extra money, so that I wasn't, like, stressed out about it, and it was just fun. And then now how they do it, and unless things have changed in the last year, is it would say, like, that same $8 order would say, like, $9 with expected tip. But, like, my understanding is, like, or my thought process is that Uber added the tip in there, the tip ahead. They used to hide the tip, or they could tip afterwards, whatever it was. And then instead of that being like a $12 order, at the end of it, it was a $9 order for its entirety, and then they could offer to, like, expand the tip afterwards, but people didn't do that because they already tipped. So then Uber, instead of paying me $8, they paid me $4, and then they tipped $5 on top of that. So I was like, "Nah." It wasn't it was kinda shady. I mean, it is kinda shady because they get a lot of people that I mean, it is what it is. A lot of people, if they need a little extra money or something like that, or they rely on it, they got you. They got you by that's one of those things. But making videos of it was a lot of fun, honestly. And it's not something I mean, I may do it again. They they keep sending me emails that my license has expired. I need to update it or whatever, my insurance or something. Because I just never I have valid license and insurance, but up-to-date insurance, but I just never went back on the site. Yeah, doing every challenge. That was one thing I thought about too. Feel free to use any idea I bring up here. I don't care. But and I still may do this, but like going to a destination and not bringing like any cash with me, or like basically having only the amount. Obviously, I'd have like money in case something bad happened, but only being able to spend what I make. So like if I go whatever across the state, but I have to make like orders to fulfill the necessary money needed, even hotels and stuff, something like that, across a couple states and stuff. It's like literally like working. I'll work for food. This YouTube thing doesn't work out for me as a firefighter. I can see him being a backup dancer for a Milli Vanilli cover band. Oh, I have some moves. I tell you what, you'll see it in the video. I got some moves. That's during some story time. I'll go over that. I won't be able to act it out like I did in my video though. And need I bring up the OnlyFans? Yeah, no, no, we can sit that one, dude. I don't even know why I'm entertaining it. I always do, but like the last 2 weeks, man, I've been like 0 times at the gym. They were nice enough to send a letter, and my wife goes, Mrs. Firefighter. She goes, "Hey, you got a letter and some it says thank you on it." And she's like, "I almost open it." I said, "Open it. I don't care. What is it? What good deed did I do to deserve a letter in the mail?" And it was the YMCA thanking me for like 15 years. So we did the math, and I was she didn't get one. We're both members or whatever, but I was a member before, like way back. So I don't know if they combined it or whatever. But we just did the math, like how much we pay a month for 15 years, and it was like $14,000. And I was like, they gave me 2 stickers and a thank you letter. It was handwritten though. It was very nice. Oh, I say always, fruity name guy says I always Watch out for the front ears of the cars. Yeah, so, like, checking out where they're going. You can tell a lot where they're going. Yeah, by the tires, absolutely. I think that's what tiers as the front tires of the cars. Copy that. Start switching letters around, you go, "I already can't see the screen now I can't read." He don't read good. Tap into your gut instincts and you'll be able to see someone is going to modality, yep, I think there's a joke in there, but I'm not gonna repeat it right after the OnlyFans thing. Paul Moto's in, so I know where we are in the chat. I ride with the high beams on during the day, just to be seen clear, yeah. My buddy did that, he had when I first started riding, he had a CBR double R 600 Honda, and, like, the oddballs, like, the shadow and then the CBR pulling off, but he always rode with his high beam, and I was like, "Man, if you're gonna do that, you gotta ride in front of me." Because when I was looking at him, I was like, "The thing is bright." But, yeah, I'd rather be annoyed than be seen, so nothing wrong with that. Especially, you're kinda out in the open, not even kinda, you're out in the open, so you need to be seen, and you need to see if there's some of that those twilight hours and stuff when you start seeing, wildlife. Sounds like a cool cool base for the chopper build, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Like, Rascal, you and your son are gonna build your Yamaha together. I think, just putting all that together is, in no timetable. It's not like you gotta rush and do something. You just, do a little at a time. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do, let alone with family and stuff. There's another channel called Motorcycle Maryland, and he's on the tech. I've learned lots about him. Okay, about it with him. I have to check that out. Yeah, I think it'd be so fun just to be able to do that. I guess I need that infinite money glitch, or maybe that's Uber Eats money. Yeah, learning a ton, watching other YouTubers. It's so true about like YouTube University. I fixed. I'm not a mechanic whatsoever, but I've fixed like my truck so many different times for like certain things that I can do that I feel comfortable doing, and it's based on like YouTube some forums here and there. That used to be big, like chat forums and stuff where people would talk about. I have a popular truck, the Ford F-150, and it would be like from whatever the years. I think it's like '07 to 10, 11, 12, whatever, '06 to 12. Like the same, pretty much same truck or whatever. A lot of the internals, and it was like you just go on there and if you had a question, I'd just start reading people's questions and answers and trying to just mess around with that. And I had a buddy who actually has his own garage now, own shop, and he would just get on there and just answer questions. It was just one of those things like for the love of the game, just answer questions. It's pretty cool. Okay, you're saying it's hard. Motor Alley says it's hard to seeing your bike in another color once you fall for it as it is. Yeah. Well, and I think that's 'cause it's been mentioned, and you talk about you had a video, Moto Alley had a video about like why you should customize your bike, and I said it earlier in the stream, like your bike is an extension of you. Whether it's your personality, um, well, that's it. We'll just say that your personality could be your personality. Ego can be a thing. Obviously flashy. If it's flashy, then it kind of tells about that person. But and not always a negative way. Just whatever. But one of the coolest thing is like I I love I love my bike and it having pegs. And it sounds so silly, but I like that I can take a turn around a roundabout. I said it with an accent. I can take a turn. That's why watching all these motovlog videos from across the globe. I can take a turn around a roundabout. There we go. And every once in a while, like my heel like scrapes the ground, scrapes the asphalt, and that can be scary for a lot of people, maybe. But for me, it's like it's even like a reminder, like how close I am. Like when you look down and your feet are just hovering, based on like pegs versus floorboards, is what I'm getting at. Like, what the heck is he talking about? And I just think that it's you're sitting, I mean, it's wild. Like you're traveling, you talk about going 65, 70 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour, 40, it doesn't matter. You're going a certain speed and you look down and like the asphalt's right there. And you're sitting on basically two wheels, a seat, and a motor. And you're just, going down the road, whipping in and out, going around turns, and everything's open. And I mentioned before, like I will always wear, like realistically riding, I'll always wear like, a helmet, full face helmet, and that's just kind of my thing. I won't always wear a riding jacket or a hoodie. Not that that protects you a lot. I mean, that's like a very slow speed maneuver where you might be able to not get scraped up as bad if you were to fall. Same thing as jeans. Like if you wear regular jeans, like shred like paper. I've seen it. You know, not I'm not Captain Safety over here. So, but like being right there and like a reminder, you make a turn, and on a floorboard, you can scrape the peg, scrape the board, but like when your foot kind of hangs down a little bit, like your peg's here, and your foot is just kind of like this, and your heel kind of hits the ground and stuff like that. It's like I don't know. To me, like there was nothing scary about it. To me, it's like a reminder, like man, pretty badass. It's pretty cool. And not everybody does it as far as or wants to ride a motorcycle. Um, Randy, I believe, you mentioned, that is one of those things that like 30 years later, and I don't know his story, but 30 years later, has he been thinking about riding the whole time? Like, I want to get back into it. For whatever reason, he stopped. It's family, could be anything, could be just fell out of love with it, and then there's some other like negative aspects of it as far as getting out of riding. But here he is making a conversation, having a conversation. Hey, Rebel or Shadow? Like 30 years later. How awesome is that? So, anyway, Yamaha Blue. Yeah. Yeah, Random Shoes got that's so cool. I don't know. And especially like the early morning hours or late evening hours seeing because like my bike, when the sun hits it, you can see all like the swirls on the paint, scratches a little bit, whatever over time. But at the evening time or early in the morning, excuse- early in the morning or evening time, it looks all right. I see Benjamin. I see that name. I recognize that one. Best tipper service Sonos from what I hear. Hey man, all joking aside, so this is my buddy Ben from work. All right, let me get back to you. Hold on. Blue. Right now I'm trying to see a different color. It looks weird. Yeah. Yeah, does look weird, but in a good way though, because there's just a variety out there. And that's people's like personality. Okay, so Ben, so I delivered food in in Sono. Dude, it is wild, man. But like it has such a as you know, like there's such a bad like stigma about certain places, like within, and for anybody engaging in the chat, like it's such a bad stigma about certain places, in the state, the city, the country, and then you go there, and then man, some of those not the nicest people. That's the Honda logo. You meet the nicest people, and these people, like in Sono, we're talking about like they don't have two nickels to rub together, but man, they're like some of the nicest, some of the happiest people, some of the worst people in a way sometimes too, but and it's fun. It's fun. I do kind of miss it now that I'm talking about it. I'm like, did I do it again? All right. He has some expensive. He have $14,000 stickers. I might have a story to tell. All right, I might tell it real quick because I think I'm catching up. Talk about Moto Alley talked about expensive. Yeah, I'm catching up. Expensive stickers. So my job. I told this story the other day. Uh, we had this thing in the fire department. It was called, they called it merit pay. And if you did something, how it was quoted was, if you did something, this is years ago, that you were supposedly not financially compensated for, and you got put in for that, they would kind of like, meet and kind of vote on I don't know if they had a certain number, a finite number or whatever, but basically it was $1,000 extra in your total salary for the year. And it was like going to be permanent. So like if you got this merit pay for 2 years in a row or 2 out of 3 years, your salary increased to $2,000 over the 3 years. And so you're talking about stickers, expensive stickers, Moto Alley. So I never had, like I never asked for anybody to write me in for anything. I just did my job. It's one of those things, you know? And the last year they did it, which we didn't know was the last year. The last year they did it, got a letter and, letterhead from the city and opened it up, and it was a letter with a challenge coin, and it said, it's from the fire chief, the previous fire chief, and it's like, "Congratulations, you've been recognized, this year, blah, 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 for, I can't remember what they said, like, not merit pay. They said, "You've been recognized this past year for, an act or acts that you've done, accomplished, one of those things, and, all good things, very well written, all that other thing, all those things." And there was a challenge coin in there. And it says, "Unfortunately, we're no longer allowed to fund the merit pay, but I still think it was important to recognize excellence," or whatever they said, right? And I looked at the coin and I said, "Oh my God, this is like," and at the time I think I had like 14, that's what it was, 14 years left. This is like a $14,000 coin, $1,000 every year for the next 14 years. This is a $14,000 coin. And I was like, "Oh my gosh." Actually, it was my money glitch. When I told you I'm looking for the infinite money glitch. It's infinite money glitch because it goes into your retirement. So if I live, theoretically, if I live for another 100 years, clearly I will. It's like $100,000 challenge coin. So anyway, that's what I think about one of those stickers, expensive stickers. Spend $14,000 in the YMCA and they'll give you not one, but two stickers. Oh, there's a fountain here. And a handwritten letter. So that was nice. They didn't have to do that. Damn, imagine a home gym you could have built for 14,000. Yes, absolutely. That would be TC. That would be awesome. I just don't have any room because I'm still trying to figure out. I have a one car garage. I'm still trying to figure out how to get a second motorcycle and put it in a garage that I have no room left because there's a riding lawnmower that was in pieces the other day. I did cut my grass though. I got it. I got it running. That's a whole different ordeal. A riding lawnmower, a couple bikes, and then a ton of lawn equipment. I used to cut grass, and I never got rid of my stuff. I gave a couple pieces away, but like I think I have two blowers. One works. I have two blowers. I think I have like four trimmers, chainsaw. I got a pole saw, hedge trimmer, 6 foot hedge trimmer. I didn't go dinky, man. I went the first like 2 years of cutting grass. This is a motovlog channel. The first 2 years about cutting grass, I bought this thing. It was like a feather light or something. The box for a blower. The box had a dainty female holding it. It was like world's lightest blower. And I was using it for like commercial use, meaning not just for like commercial property, but commercial use. You don't know is basically it's made to start. It's not made to like run like once or twice a week. It's made to run like you know umpteen times, right? 15 times, 14 times, 12 starts, and then like work for like 20 minutes throughout the day, and do that multiple times a week. And I bought this thing, and it was a residential, and I broke that thing, and I bought it, I think, almost 3 times. I was going back the 3rd time I was gonna buy it, and I was like, "Nah, I'm done. I'm just gonna buy the biggest and best stuff, and wait." And every year, it was, like, just enough to, like I was trying to break even, and the tax guy was like I got glasses here too. I love acting things out. You'll see it in my next video. Like, it probably went dead. Testing, testing. Oh, it's still there. So the tax guy I go to Jackson Hewitt. And he's punching in the numbers and stuff, and he goes, "Man, I can see the chat perfect. I can read. Oh, I can read good now. He can read. No, I was saying I can read great. I can read. I read good. Anyway." So he goes, he's like crunching numbers and stuff, and he goes like, "See, what they look for is that the first 2 out of the first 3 years start to turn a profit. Otherwise, they consider it a hobby." And I was like, "All right, how much money am I getting back this year?" Because I would just like spend the money and throw it right back into the business. Oh man, it's a mess. All right, my Yamaha has 4 foot pegs. So are you talking about Rascal? Oh, I got but Rascal, are you talking about and like a passenger seat? So technically, yeah, I got some fold down pegs for the passenger. 4 foot pegs. Yeah, you ready to go. Bunch of stickers, LOL. Can't imagine a home gym. That's right. I'm right there. 14K buys a lot of monster drinks. Absolutely, man. I was talking to Moto Alley. I don't remember where, but I'm all over the place between videos, Instagram. I mean, I haven't posted on Instagram in like I know what it was, October 15th. It feels good. I'm not wasting any time with that. Oh man, that's a whole different conversation. But anyway, I don't know if it was on there or whatever. I've talked to Moto Alley in several different locations, but I just bought a case of Monster. so, so my wife being an enabler at this point is enabling my bad habits. She's like, "Why instead of buying like 3 of them, why don't you just buy a case?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a good idea." And Ben, if he's still here, I've been buying cases at work all the time. Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think of that. So I just bought a case. Slightly warm, but worth it. Pinky up. Or Gatorade. Yeah, you know what, Rascal? One of these days I'm gonna have a Gatorade. It's probably gonna be Monster in it though. Let's see. Moto Alley. Am I the only one who thinks the fire station should have its own house gym? Yeah, it does. The fire station does have a gym. They do. And then that's who are we gonna call? We gotta give this random person a name. Hmm. Let's see. Gotta figure it out. But yeah, they do. We do. They do. Yep. 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 Now, if we get to work out, that's different. Back in the day, I don't know if they ever did it, but supposedly you were allowed to go out of service for like 30 minutes. You had to do like a walking program for 30 minutes. So at least you had to do is walk. Got to tell you. Got to tell you about that. Hurt my neck. There's a joke in there too, Moto Alley, that if I ever did get like 6 hours of sleep, I would hurt my neck. And like God's honest truth, like my neck, I got a kink in my neck. I slept for like 6 hours. I'm all right. Everything's fine. I'm not addicted. 2 for cruising and 2 for sport mode. Yeah. Lean into it. Lean into the tank. So Moto Alley says, after the store, I got to go. I go back to the grind. The grind. Yeah. Make some money, dude. Keep him rambling. Get you. That's right. See you on the playback. That's right. See you, Moto. If you're watching this, hopefully you had a good day. Good night at work, man. That night shift, man. That's why my wife works. That can be pretty tough. Oop. Fallon here. You can read gooder with the glasses. Absolutely, Steven. I can. So I've gotten to the point where I play Call of Duty, and I was getting wrecked by these kids, and my wife. So I have that's a whole different ordeal. I made a video a long time ago. It was basically like how I got contacts. There's a story on that, but I got contacts. Finally went to the eye doctor, optometrist, as the adults call them. And once again, eye doctor. I'll say that. And they were like picking on me because I couldn't put the. I wasn't scared to touch my eye, but my eye like I just couldn't open it or whatever, right? To get it in, and like I swear a random person came over and was showing me how to like put it in. Not even one of that like I don't know if I don't know if they're well the doctor's the optometrist. I don't know if all the assistants or whatever you would call them. The dental hygienist of the optometrist of the eye doctor. Like I swear they brought somebody over like that didn't work there and was like dogging me and showing me how to do it. My eye was like red. I was like touching on my eye and stuff. And anyway, I was I got a prescription and I just couldn't wear them. I was trying to play I call it man ball, softball. That's a whole different story. Hurt my knee on that like the first game. I'm just not who I'm not the athlete I was anymore. And that ship has sailed. So all this I tell you, I punted on the where's the volume coming from? I punted from with the sorry, I was trying to find out where the stupid set. Oh, I don't want to sniff in there. I'm sorry. I'm not sick. You're sick. So I punted on the the contact lenses. Well, my wife found my prescription. That's this whole long drawn out story. I got another story to tell. 3 stories. And she found this and she ordered me a pair of these. And I was getting wrecked by these kids. Remember what I was talking about? That's whole long drawn out story just to tell you I was getting wrecked by these kids in Call of Duty. And now I put these glasses on and I'm back. I'm back, baby. Randy, you and I are 20 years old again wearing these. So if I ever do play, I do have a gaming channel that I've never posted or never done anything with. But if I ever do that, I will be wearing these glasses and shredding these young punks, going old school. Oh well, that's that. And then I was gonna tell you this a story in this last video, the video I'm making. I literally cut out like 95% of the story because I was like, I can't keep. I was like, where's this story even going? I cut it out. So I'll talk about that story a little bit. All right, let's jump. I think I'm all caught up. Everything's fine. Sorry. Let's find out what I was. Let's dive into something productive. All right, I don't need this. I accidentally turned the stream off. Let's do. Sorry. I was should have had this done too. Everything's fine. Button. Start diving into conversation of episode. What is it? 129. Dudes. There's so many. That's crazy. It should be muted. Oh. Okay, desktop's muted. All right, so let's go to. I'm gonna switch screens real quick. Oh, it won't work. Watch. Oh, it will work. Fine. See, gotta have a little faith. This is the best I've looked. Just taking myself off the screen. Perfect. Okay, so oh, a future miniseries. Dang. So the conversation. We can blow through these. I've already been on for an hour and 20 minutes. I've been talking about just random stuff. It's so good. That's been fun though. I really enjoyed it, and thank y'all. Obviously, thank y'all for being a part of it. So future miniseries. Just kind of want to glance over this. The videos I have, which I'll get into sneak peek for the next video at the end. I was in the middle of exporting it, so all I gotta do is thumbnail, title, description, and it's gone. But the future miniseries, I took a trip. Most of y'all know about it. That I was gonna take a trip. Rascal. No, sorry. I thought he was leaving. Easily distracted. I can't look at the chat. But I was talking about a future miniseries where I have to make this video, which I'm done, and then the following not even week. I don't do weeks anymore. I just when I have a video, I post it. At this point, I actually posted 3 videos in 8 days, which is the most videos I've ever done. And I was on a 5-day break, and that's all I did was make videos and stuff. So, or during my free time or whatever, when Mrs. Firefighter was working. But I have a maintenance video for preparing for the trip. I have the trip. I have the meetup. I have another Beyond the Ride like podcast. I'm just going to call them podcasts. Simplicity. So I have another, which will be the third Beyond. Get it wrong. Beyond the Shadow. Duh. This is Beyond the Ride. Come on, get with your Brandon. Beyond the Shadow with a fellow. And then a ride and a ride home. You know, ride to lunch and a ride home. So I got to figure out. I don't know how I'm gonna edit it. This person's already done with their video, and it's not a super secret, but a super secret. It's not a super secret. My dogs probably need to go out now. Look, oh, there she is. Alan, come here. Up, up, up. Look at you see a little bit, but I'm in the process of that, so I don't know if the maintenance video is gonna be part of it. There's some goof ups on that. And it was just one of those things, Randy, if you're still here, it's just like I was worried about recording and I completely did something completely backwards. Didn't change anything, the outcome, but I've it's about changing the oil. I'll tell you that. It is the goofiest thing that I did, and everything worked fine. And I always tell myself, and I always joke about that. But I've been changing my oil in my truck since I got the truck. I've always changed. I've never paid to get an oil change. I've changed my lawnmower oil, riding lawnmower, so it's not like just push mower or anything like that. I've done that since 2007 or 8 or whatever. 2008, I think I was when I bought it. And then my motorcycle oil, I've changed, and I did it completely backwards. This way, you'll see. I'll probably put it in, but that might be the first part. The ride, all that other stuff as I named. So that's kind of a mini series. I've never done a mini series. I've done like a 2-parter or 3-parter, but it wasn't like a. It was just because I wanted to like divide them up. So this is gonna be, like I said, I don't know how I'm gonna edit, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to edit it. I'm looking forward to it. Also, I think at the end I have another video that I want to build off of it outside of the mini series, and yeah, it's gonna be like certain like mistakes, like with riding and everything, and whether it's in his video or not. I told him, I said, do whatever you want. I don't care. Like, post whatever you want. The person actually gave me the link to watch the video. I was like, no, I'm good, man. Just send it. So if it made that video, then it did. But I'm gonna make. I don't know if I'll put it in my video, but I'm gonna put it in a video after about like some mistakes in riding, stuff like that. Because I think that'd be cool. Like I always say, like you don't have to make the mistake to learn from. I don't have to make the mistake from learn from somebody else's mistake, and I want to put that in there so people can see. So that's a mini series conversation. Jumping into episode 129, which I can just pop up here. This was this share my screen. See, this is how it's supposed to work. Boom, 129. It was funny. I was gonna do like so much better. I can nitpick this. Like I was gonna erase like the seat right here. Can't really see it when it's a thumbnail, so I was like, I'm just gonna post it. But I can poke holes through that. So I was just discussing here, episode 129. I can minimize this and hit play. And mute. There we go. Oh man, everything's fine. You gonna do it? It's not playing? Oh, okay. I'm delayed a little bit. All right. Yeah. So this just went over like I talked about a little bit ago about like the perfect motorcycle, and it was just mentioning about like certain things that I like. When I already referenced like the floorboard, and pegs versus floorboards. I'm not a chrome guy. Cruise control. There's a couple things that I mentioned that actually got cut out because I forgot to talk about it, and I talked about it later. And this video actually starts going over um, into, well, I say it goes over. It bleeds into like after sunset. This was a ride that I wanted to hurry up and take, and even to the point I was joking that my 360 camera, I forgot how to like. I didn't have time to look it up because I was running out of daylight, and I know how bad that 360 is at night or when the low light setting is on, or excuse me, when low light setting is like the environment, how bad it is. So I went out there real quick, and I was joking about like I was like I don't even know how to turn this thing off, but this guy right here, second chance. He mentioned something. I love like questions, and Restless Mule is another one that gave me a question a long time ago about has my riding or has being a firefighter changed how I ride or my outlook on riding. And I made a video about that a while ago about basically like a firefighter who rides and stuff. And there's another guy, and I got to give him credit too, where he made a comment about some maintenance videos or something. So here we are, like a year and a half later after that comment was received. And I was gonna say, give him credit for it. Obviously, same thing as like pop up the comment and stuff. So looking forward to any questions I get. Obviously that entertain. Um, that could be like like I can entertain and make it a video. Absolutely. So I have so many ideas. Like when it comes to, like I write them on my phone. So many ideas. That an idea that branches off another idea. So I will never run out of them. But anything that people give me, like when it comes to whether it's a chat, the comments, or something like that, like I'm gonna run with it. I can always postpone whatever I have. I'll definitely postpone. And this is I was talking about Blockhead, for example. He was one of the first ones I watched. I mentioned in the stream right now that Her Two Wheels was another one that I was watching. Shade Tree Surgeon, and I started watching Blockhead again, and Shade Tree. He's just funny because he's just totally himself. He doesn't care, and I love that. That's just a good group of people. So I enjoy that. And then Her Two Wheels doing her travels and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, I've been getting into watching a lot more videos outside of, or I guess the normal ones I watch, which are y'all's and everything. So I mentioned before that I have a playlist where I have it saved. The Indian Crusader, an Australian, friends with South Osmodo. They have a trip going. Lucky we were talking about it. I started catching up on that. I think I'm on episode 4 or 5 for him, and I've watched one of two. I think he's got a second one coming out. South Osmodo, who's a big part of this community too. I watched his first one about pertaining to the same trip. So just really getting involved with watching a lot of motovlogs again, and branching out to even more because there's a conversation to be had about what's up, buddy? There's a conversation to be had about I love YouTube. I really enjoy it. And I watch a lot of like the coaches and the gurus or whatever. They used to be gurus and now they're coaches because people gave people like a bad taste in their mouth when they talked about gurus and all that. So they changed their name to coaches and stuff. And I was just like, I watch all this stuff. Literally, well, let me say it. I watch all this stupid shit and I don't heed their advice because I'm always gonna do my own thing. But the last 2 days, I've, like, deleted, like, probably, like, 15 channels of just, like, quote, unquote, like, YouTube, like, how to do YouTube, and I just enjoyed them, and then there's some podcasts and stuff style that I listen to. I didn't really do their advice because I was always gonna do my own thing, and, it was such, like, a time, uh, like, vampire time sucker. I don't even know what you say, but I was like, "Man, I could be watching all these other people, like, meeting new people and motovlogs and seeing other parts, and there's more to come on that." So, I was like, "If I'm gonna watch YouTube, I'm gonna watch, like, motorcycle stuff, photography stuff, like, y'all stuff." So that was kinda like I had an epiphany. I was like, "What am I wasting? I'm wasting my time. If I can't don't have enough time to watch, like, the people I wanna watch because I'm watching this other stuff that I don't necessarily agree with, but I just enjoy it in a way." I've been watching, like, Dave Ramsey. Those who know him, that's a really random topic, but people call in that are, like, a $500,000 in debt asking about should they buy another car. And I've been watching him, like, almost like it's like a radio call-in show, and I used to watch him, like, all the time, like 5 plus years ago, 6, 7 years ago, and just enjoy, like, listening to his outlook and stuff like that. So, anyway, going back to this, like, I've been watching stuff that I wanna watch, not stuff that, like, I listen and, like, y'all are just regurgitating the same stupid topics that y'all have talked about or whatever. It was a weird anyway, that's gone. Different moving on. This channel, this, 129, so I just kinda go over we'll blow through this video, but I just kinda went over, like the perfect motorcycle for me. So talk about like the Harley Fat Boy. I showed previously the 40. Well, I was talking about the 48. It looks awesome, but it's got a peanut tank and stuff. And I like a big tank. I like that it adds size to the motorcycle. For example, the big gauge speedometer. I like the big pie gauge. I'm not a chrome fan. I don't like the dummy caps. I like just one cap. No no cap. I just like one cap. Just there's certain things that you're drawn to on a motorcycle, and there's a lot of things that like obviously people change out on said motorcycle to fit their preference and their personality. So that's kind of it. We'll kind of move on 'cause I do want to go over some stuff outside of motovlogs. Catch up here. If I keep, yeah, I'll probably break my camera or something like that. Talking about the camera. So I got you, Paul. Yep. I got duct tape and zip ties, so we can make that a reality. I was surprised that the 360 came out so dark though. Yeah, it's kind of like I'm not I'm not like totally against the 360 because it has a purpose and the functionality of it being a 360 camera is nice, but there's definitely some settings like as far as the environment because there's also like you can dull down the resolution to make it like instead of going from 8K, which is really 4K, because there's two lenses, so it's 4 and 4. That's what they advertise it at 8K, but it's not. Individually, it's not. But you go down to like a certain setting, like a 5.7K, and not like the plus version, blah blah blah, whatever. and then it's supposed to be better in low light. I haven't really I tested out one time a certain way, but I'm good, man. So I haven't even advertised like what I did. I changed it up a little bit. And then this video that comes out tomorrow, I shot on the 22nd of October, 7 days ago. And I use a 360 again instead of the extra camera or the new camera that I got because I needed that 360 view, which actually I don't even think I used. All right, so that's the gist of it. We'll move on. Bing bong. But yeah, you can see. So by the time I started remembering like stuff, like I was going to talk about horsepower and stuff like that, the increase in horsepower, what I would like, a 6 gear, stuff like that, just to accommodate higher speeds. It was too dark and it would have been kind of jarring. And I don't know, I worry about stuff. I say worry. I wouldn't like to have watched that video or to made that video to go back where it's night and then go back during its day and stuff. And I just left alone. So I left some of the certain things that I wanted to talk about. I left out, but yeah, that's that. All right, let's go to miniseries cut here. Okay, so this one, go over this too. I don't. So this is episode 130. That up. This car, it's a turn. This is a straight lane, and the left lane is turn. This one's straight. The middle two are straight, and the right one is a right turn. So he stops, and I don't like to show this. Go back to it. So like anytime, most of we probably all know about this. Anytime I'm behind a car, like if this was a red light, I still would be probably over to the left or right more, depending. I don't want to be directly behind that car and be sandwiched, especially that close. And it was downhill. There's a lot of like negatives here, and I don't care for um. There's motor vloggers out there, and it's more so I would say like almost like a TikTok community, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, where they kind of like look for trouble, and I'm good. One of those things. I don't need to look for trouble. Trouble will find me. So insert some cool line like that. But this is one of the incidents. This is actually at the end of the video. I put it in the front to start the conversation or whatever, to start it going. But there's people that look for issues on the road and what do you call it? Romanticize that and like try to make it action and try to make it worse than it is. And like last thing I want to do, like if this person was pissing me off, is have that road rage and like to bait them into like doing something stupid. Like I would just get away from them, one of those things. But there's, you got a camera on and you want to record that quote unquote content. Yeah, right. I love that word, right? You want to record that and you do it for the gram and do it for the views and stuff. And I don't like that big, like for me watching something big turn off, like trying to watch somebody like complain about, you know, this driver, this driver, this driver, this driver. But there's certain times when it's like me feeling that way. I edited this and did it for a reason, because this is exactly how, completely like out of the blue, this is how people get hurt. So I left it in, and this is a casual video, just casual conversation, with the message that I wanted to share. But this right off the bat, so if nobody sees the video, nobody watches past 30 seconds. Like this is how quick things can like kind of turn bad. So I mentioned, I don't know how loud that would be, but like I'm in a bad spot right here. So we'll just talk about this and we'll move on. I'm in a bad spot right here. I need to go. Oh shoot. All right. Staring it. So I need to go right. I can't, if I go left, then I got to turn, right? So I'm not in a rush. I'm in a rush because I don't want to be behind this car going downhill. I see a car coming. Can't always see. Obviously, my camera's facing forward. My eyes can look further than the camera to the right. So I saw this car. I saw traffic coming. There's no danger of me going in front of this truck. But you see how fast this truck goes and how frustrating it can be because people are making stupid mistakes. And now you're involved where there's no fender bender for a motorcycle. But like that truck with that trailer is not stopping. Is not stopping whatsoever. If I would have gone, they're not stopping. Downhill, all that weight too. But, you know, I'm not sitting there and I'm not bashing. I'm not smashing a mirror. I'm not doing all that other stupid stuff or whatever. Like, I just said this is how people get hurt, and then I laughed, and then I said something else, and I moved on. But this is like a perfect example of something really stupid. And at the end of the video, it shows the whole thing. Here, I'll play the whole thing. So he clearly wants to get over. Or he or she or whatever wants to get over. We'll just analyze this whole thing. What's that guy? Dan the fireman? So clearly wants to go left. Well, I didn't know that actually, because if you look at it, go back to here. So that's the car right here. Yeah. Car's over here. It's gonna play it out. My favorite traffic light. So clearly comes over one, crosses at the double white. First mistake, but that's whatever. Hurry up, light. I hate this light. I told y'all I flew the drone over there and watched. But I just thought he left his turn signal on. Because clearly if he wants to go left, he can go left. But that person must have thought that this was a turn as well, or whatever, straight turn, whatever. So I'm, clearly, like I said, I want to be in the left. I want to have an exit route. Check my mirrors, nobody's behind me, all that stuff. Lights green. Big a monster. As soon as I see the brake lights here, that's it. That's it. Now I'm stuck. So this is where I'm screwed right here. Because now I'm pretty close behind. Don't want to be there. And this is a straight lane. I'll be smushed between that car and the car behind me. So it is what it is. Stay calm, cool, collective, blah, 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 all that good stuff. All right, we'll move on. I got one more, and then I want to get into some. I got to motor through this next one. Can he do it? Yeah, he can. All right. Go to the chat real quick. Okay, and Paul's mode. Yeah, Paul's mode is in. I seen something like that the other day, but it was a right turn. Yeah, yeah. That's one of those things like that, and that's one of the things like I mentioned about with Randy and anybody else. When you're doing these videos, you have to make sure. Like I said, I was making silly mistakes, small mistakes. If I'm making mistakes, that makes it even worse because I need to be ahead of the game and look out for other people's mistakes. If I make a mistake, obviously that's in its own entity, an issue. But if I can't adapt to somebody else's mistake, then I'm in trouble. Then you're in trouble. Then we're in trouble, right? Yeah, Google. Yeah. Yeah, make YouTube great again. You mean Google? Yeah, before Google. Yeah, that's golly, that's a whole can of worms too. That's why like Elon Musk buying Twitter for X and everybody like lost their mind. Like, oh, you can't control the narrative now? Is that what you're upset? Rules for thee, not for me. Oh, I just found out who the random person was. Funny, he just text me. All right. Text him back. Okay. That's funny. Okay. Yeah, I tell you, so Rascal, if you're still here, we always talk about like where I hide stuff. I move it. Yeah. So 131. Can't really see it, like you said. You can't really see it because the YouTube thumbnails don't really allow it. But that's where I put this one. Every once in a while, like here, that's a little more legible. So 130, and then how I typically did it back in the day was I just did this. I just put it there. So once in a while, you'll see it in the corner, real obvious. It's funny. I'll go back and look for a video, what number it is, so I know how to draw or how to take a snip of a clip or whatever, take a clip out of that. And I'm like, well, what episode was that? And I'll look and I was like, "Well, I can't see. I got to zoom in, try to figure out what episode. Because back in the day, like I said, they used to be pretty legible where I could just see it right there. Legible and visible, I should say, more so. That's a little fun thing I like to do here and there. Let's see. So going back to this video, we'll pop this up. Yeah, make YouTube great again. So this is kind of the conversation I had. This is actually from the trip. This is a picture from the trip that I took. I pulled over because I did not want to have my circle over here. I didn't want to have my phone on here, so I was kind of like listen to the navigation, the directions. But I don't like the way um the 360 looks camera or a camera, and then have my big old phone there too. And I was even gonna like on my quad lock, I was gonna put it like sideways. I was gonna try that, but I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna just listen to it. I had an intercom. It's one of the old Senna intercom systems. So the lady, which I was like complaining, I was talking to her like the whole time too. Talking to the voice in my head, the intercom in my head, even the video tomorrow. And I'll probably drop tomorrow. I'm talking to her because she's telling me I'm going the wrong way when I'm purposely going the wrong way to check out. But she was losing her mind when I was going down here. Anyway, that's fine. Side note tangent over there. Let's pop this video up and I'll talk about this and then we'll move on to 131. This was the video. Am I up? Yeah. So my bike tends to navigate to Chick-fil-A and Best Buy quite a bit. Excuse me. And this is no different. This one I ended up getting a new camera, which I guess I haven't talked about, but kind of talk about the low light settings and overall like the message, which kind of talked about a little bit on a different, I guess a live stream or something. But I was talking about, just having fun with YouTube again, and that's kind of another reason. Like I kind of heeded my advice, and I'm a big numbers guy. But I was listening to these people, these coaches, gurus. And I was like, man, I'm just like wasting my time. It's not that. It's like when people are successful. This is funny. When people are successful on YouTube because they talk about how to be successful on YouTube, it's like I'm good, man. I'm good. It was such a waste. Like it's a waste of time. I did enjoy it, so it wasn't like I was like really learning anything because I wasn't implementing anything to my videos. I just wanted like one thing I want to learn on my videos is like more like the cinematic version of it. Learning how to edit. Like you just saw like the black and white because I was talking about night vision, like real subtle stuff like that. Nothing over the top like I used to do as far as editing goes, but just having fun with it, man. Because like YouTube for a lot of people, um, because they can get spicy. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I think I talked about it last live stream, but YouTube is so fun when people start out and then they start looking at numbers and I've talked to Lucky offline about this and like my numbers and stuff, and maybe that's a thing. Just go. I'm an open book, and I can show you my numbers and how like people would see it as like abysmal and all that stuff. But man, y'all are here. However many people are here right now, I see like all this chat and stuff like that. Like it's so much fun, like to get on here and actually talk because I make my videos and then I make my um the replies and comments and stuff like that. And there's could be hours between conversations, but like right now, like this is as close outside of being face to face in person, right? This is as close as we can get to like actually having like that engagement. And it's just fun, like going live, especially when the cameras work. Um, when the cameras work, but yeah, I don't know. I think that people need to go back to that, I guess. I don't know. I've chased certain things. I've not really chased trends and everything, and I think that's another thing. Like you want to grow on YouTube, do what everybody else is doing. You know what I mean? But then you're just another one of them. Like I don't know. I like we all have such vast personalities that like I would I would strive to find like my own community versus being another carbon copy of somebody else. And then to try to keep up with a facade where you have to be that person. If you meet me, the person that met me during this miniseries, and like I said, it'll probably be in the title, so it's not like a super secret or whatever how I plan on doing it. But that person met me, and I guarantee you they would say that I'm the same person, like in the flesh. Like I like to have a good time. I like to joke around. I don't take life too serious. I can be serious when needed. Have a a somewhat intelligent conversation, or I can just be like goofy. It doesn't matter. I'm the same person I am here as I am at work. I'm the same person that I'm at work and that I'm here in front of my wife, family, and my dog. Like that's just gonna be me, and that's what I strive to make my videos based on. It's a I said before it's an autobiography, and years later I can look back at certain trips or certain events or videos or editing past videos and just kind of like I guess relive where I was at that point and not look at like a stranger. It's like looking at myself in the mirror versus myself in the past or something. So obviously you're gonna grow and all that stuff. All right, move on. Mm, that's what's up. Some low lighting. That's what I was talking about. Like I need to pick and choose where I have my speaking points. These are some other. This is pretty cool. I thought so. Some other times I've done motovlogs where the lighting's been bad. Used to do 4K 60. You see it versus the old school logo. Instead of 4K 30, I do 30 frames now. But I would talk where you couldn't really see, and I don't know. I just plan on doing more night rides. I think that's kind of what I did. What I was talking about. It might be it'll be in the city, for example, where you can actually see, but you just got to pick and choose where you speak. So at least you could be audio's number one, video's number two, and the audio won't deviate. So it is what it is. But like certain places I can talk, certain places I can't. All right, let's go here. Halloween stories, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna try to. Did a lot of talking in the front part of this stream. All right, I got a couple stories. I got 3 stories. I got a few stories actually. And how about this? If anybody, so we'll go. I'll do the funny one first, and then we'll go to like the paranormal side. All right. So a while back, I cut the story out, or cut most of the story out. I not the end of it for the video that I'll drop tomorrow. I might even drop it. Well, I can't because I was gonna say tonight, but I had to turn off the upload or export. So to get my camera right, which didn't work. So that was a complete waste. Anyway, when I was a kid, and even before school age, and a few years after or whatever, we'd always go to West Virginia. My grandparents on my mom's side lived in West Virginia. Had a woods in the wooded area in the backyard. Um, awesome plot of land, and my cousins would go, and uncles, we'd go up there. It'd be loud as anything. All family on my mom's side. My dad was like losing his mind. He was like, "I'm about to go get a hotel," because it was so loud. And well, I get traits off both of them, but as far as me being loud and outgoing, I guess in a way, I get that from my mom's side. And we basically like it was like creatures of habit. We'd pick a week out of the summer. We'd all go up there. Shoney's. Shoney's was kids eat free, so every Wednesday we went to Shoney's, for example. And then at the end of the week for Friday, I guess rather, we'd have a bonfire. A big enough yard where you could clear out the trees and all that stuff. And I was real big into it. Obviously, firefighter today, so like there's some of us, I guess, are always like pyromaniacs. So cleared out a bunch of debris and walkways and stuff, sticks, twigs, branches, whatever. Put in this big old like pile. And we'd light it up, I mean, I don't know why we built it there. I guess to give them more of a backyard, but we built it near the tree line, so we always had to spray the water on the trees and stuff. And probably where I do my big like, there's supposed to be like a burn pit, but the flames when I had trees, I mean, they were like higher than my house. I don't know how the fire department never came to my house or continues. I've gotten a lot better now, but I've had like the neighborhood like smoke down and stuff. So I got good neighbors. But uh, we went to Bible school one summer. We went to Bible school for I don't know if it was multiple times in a week. I only remember going like one time, but I'm sure I went a couple times, or maybe it was like I'm not remembering exactly, but maybe every time we went there, we went like one day or something. So I went to Bible school, and the teacher, or I don't know what you call her. Let's call it a teacher. The teacher said like make basically like there's little I didn't look up what they're called, but like there's little pins that you can push through and pull pull outside and make like a hinge joint for like an elbow, a shoulder, ball and socket, knee joint, hip, and all that stuff. And you could move like this paper person around, right? And the plan was, the assignment was to make a person that you look up to, make a person that's your hero. And mind you, we're in Bible school, so people were making, obviously they were making Jesus. They were making, their mother, father, big brother, grandma, grandpa, stuff like that. And my brother and I were always into like scary movies. And stuff. While Jesus is to my left and somebody's mom's to my right, I'm making a skeleton, and my brother's making a werewolf. And I tell you, I give these people credit because they just like went with it. The teachers, they just went with it. And it was like a blue skeleton and a werewolf, and everybody's like showing, like they let us show who they saw us making them. They go ahead, keep doing it. That's your thing, your prerogative. And then we got to like advertise or like show the class like who our people were and stuff like that. And they're kind of like looking around. But I remember that, and I was always about we were always about like scary movies growing up. So talk about some like Halloween stories. I don't know if anybody believes in ghosts or whatever, but I'd love like the like paranormal like videos and stuff. And a lot of them, especially with AI now, imagine they're going to get even. They're going to look cool, but you can't believe anything. All these people got cameras and they still can't, like UFOs and stuff. Any picture of a UFO is the most grainy picture you ever see. Yet people have like these amazing DSLR cameras and all that stuff, and they can't get a real picture. But now with AI out, you won't know what's what and what's true, what's not. But I love like there's a YouTube channel, Nuke, like a bomb Nuke's top 5. And there's a bunch of just like top 10, top 20 videos, and it's people send them in. And I would actually like to do it, but people send in videos and they basically like go over it. I don't have a voice for radio, so I can't do it. But basically, like they just advertise, these paranormal events and stuff like that. It's really cool. Like I really dig it. I really enjoy it. The only time I can, this is the truth. I gotta get a sip. Like I said, a sip. Rascal, if you're here, don't look. Oh yeah, 22. Okay, the only time that I had anything like paranormal, it was weird. I wasn't feeling well at work. I'm like surprised. I'm like the last one. I'm like the last one to go to sleep at work, or second to last, or whatever. I'm typically one of the last. So I wasn't feeling good, or excuse me, I wasn't feeling well. I was not feeling well, and I got set up for this. And I was laying down, and we have curtains. My station's like one of the last stations, one of really two, but it's like basically one of the last stations. It's a common bunk room. You have this big open bunk room. You have a lot of beds throughout, right? And yeah, because anyway, and I remember I pulled the curtain. We don't pull the curtains on my shift. We just, it's whatever. We're not like bashful or whatever. So I pulled the curtain because the light was above me. If I pulled the curtain, the light would be on the other side. So I get a little, because I didn't want to turn the light off because people started to make their bunk. So I heard when you move, it goes on a rack. Those curtains are on a rack, so they can go all the way around. And I heard like a little like jiggle, and I felt like an impression on my bunk. And I thought somebody was messing with me or whatever. And like I don't take naps at work, and I was like, I think like in 20 years at this point, like realistically in 20 years, I've like laid down like 5 times before like 8 o'clock at night or something. Like middle of the day, not feeling good, like headache, like bad headache, migraine, whatever. I don't know, borderline or something. And this is one time I was just feeling bad, and who's messing with me? Like I've like maybe 5 or 6 times in my whole career that I've like laid down, and that's probably on a generous side. And I looked up, nobody was there. I was like, I felt an impression on the end of the bed, like somebody sat down, and I know I didn't fall asleep that quick and like dream it. So I got up, not quick or anything, like I wasn't like trying to catch somebody, but I wanted to see who it was, who was messing with me. and nobody was in the bunk room. I mean, I'm talking like I looked under the bunks because I've messed with people with like I got like the Undertaker theme. So Ben's not here, but if he could vouch for me, the Undertaker theme song from wrestling, and I'll like turn the lights out and flick them on and off, whatever. And so like. No, but nobody's. I've been like hiding under beds and stuff like that, playing that song. so, like I tell you, like we joke around, we have a good time. But I swear, like nobody was in there, and I can't explain it. I've never had anything close to something like that before, but it was like it was evident that like I mean there was no doubt that there was an impression, and I don't know. So that's probably the closest. Not nothing crazy or whatever, but I'll tell you another story, and then we'll go to some movies or whatever. If you have anything, throw it in the chat. But the other thing I'll try to maybe like 10 more minutes, and I'll get out of here. But um. There's a story. This is a secondhand story, but one of my buddies, that's Fallon. One of my buddies, he was actually my preceptor when I came in. He won't admit it. He doesn't like to admit it, but he was my preceptor when he came in. And he's a great guy. And he told this story one time. There's a bunch of stories, but there's a story one time about with him, and they basically like they went to like for some like I don't know the whole story, but the gist of it was like a mental subject. It was like a teenager or like young adult, and they were like just like yelling and screaming and talking about evil this, evil that, or whatever. And my buddy, who was like basically like a paramedic, he was riding the call, and he's like, if you know, if it's an intermediate, so or cardiac tech, I think he called it back then. But anyway, that's the gist of it. So it's basically like borderline paramedic, and he goes, he's like, yeah, just sit down, just just chill out. We're taking it to the hospital. I really don't want to. I don't want to hear it. He doesn't say this, but like he's like, I don't care. I don't care what facade you have. And he's like, ah, I don't know if he had a name for this entity or something like that. And he's just like yelling and screaming and stuff. And he goes, when we get to the hospital, all the lights will turn off in 5 minutes after we get there. And my buddy's like, uh huh. And he's writing back then. We used to write our PPCR. We're writing the paper care report, paper patient care report. I think yeah. So he's writing, he's checking boxes, mental, writing his narrative, blah blah blah. And he goes, drops him off, and then they go to make the stretcher. And they're getting ready to leave, I guess, to make the stretcher, and all the lights in the ER go off. This is it. This is crazy. All the lights go off, and the generator kicks on and stuff. So the lights come back on in the hospital. They kind of like flicker or whatever. And then they're leaving, and then all of a sudden, all he hears is, "I told you, I told you." So he's like, yeah, we're leaving now. We're out." So whatever that dude was into, man, it was not good. I was not good at all. So there's a bunch of stories, but I'll stop there. Pretty wild. And as far as movies, I go into it tomorrow. Like I said, I mentioned many times about tomorrow's video, which I'll get into after this officially for a few minutes before I go. Up, Fallon? We'll go outside then. Been raining like 2 days straight, so this dog's been kind of cooped up. We've only been able to play inside. But basically, I was gonna tell you, like I said, my brother and I, we always like watched movies, scary movies and stuff. And my favorite kind of movie, Rascal. I remember, I think you said Freddy Krueger was your favorite. I would never see because I never sleep, so that would be a problem. You'd never be able to get me. My favorite movies are like zombie movies, and it's so hard to make a zombie movie that's not cheesy. Like on Netflix, a TV show or whatever. Walking Dead was good. I actually stopped watching it about halfway through, so I need to eventually find the time or make the time to watch that. But big fan of George A. Romero. Obviously passed. Oops, what's that, buddy? I think Diary of the Dead was his last one, but he made all the Night of the Living Dead. They were called Ghouls, the very first one in 1968 or something. It was in the 60s. Originally, it was black and white. And they made a remake of Tom Savini. So Tom Savini was the makeup artist of, so they had Night of the Living Dead, which were ghouls. They weren't even really called zombies, I think. And then, or that was the plan. And then they had Day of the Dead. then Dawn of the Dead. No, Dawn of the Dead, then Day of the Dead. And then he made like Diary of the Dead. Like he made a bunch of Land of the Dead was another one, way back after the first few he made. So he was awesome. I really enjoyed it. He was great at it. Sorry. Sorry. Um but it's just hard to make like a good scary zombie movie. And it's really hard to make a good scary movie outside of like paranormal like activity and stuff. Like the original Paranormal Activity, if you all think about like the Blair Witch Project, how that was deemed like real for a while before they came out and said no, it's not. Um, but my favorite two zombie movies are Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 version. I said Tom Savini, he was a makeup artist in stunt. He was a stunt man for Dawn of the Dead, where they were in that mall, which I mentioned in a comment today about somebody. I'll briefly talk about that. There was a there's a mall in Pennsylvania. I want to say it's in Pennsylvania that they filmed it, and me and my buddy were gonna go there like years and years, probably 10 years ago. We never did, and just to see kind of like where the movie was shot, it was gonna be cool. And I'll touch on that. There's a another motor vlogger. I guess she considers herself a motor vlogger. I have her like picture of her channel in the video tomorrow. Nicole Brailer, Brailer, and she basically I found she has a Kawasaki Vulcan. I'm pretty sure it's Kawasaki Vulcan S, and she rides around to different like haunted locations. And she's like in Virginia. I think Petersburg, Richmond. She's somewhere around there. But she advertised like she says like she goes to this like um it was like a hospital or sane asylum or something like that. I just watched a video today. She was an extra on one of the spinoffs of The Walking Dead. I watched that video today, and I mentioned it because like she just when I see like it looks like she just goes to like haunted areas and stuff. So it's really cool. So I've watched 3 or 4 of her videos, and I mentioned it in the video tomorrow. But I just think it's so cool to see where movies were shot, not like Hollywood or anything like that. That is what it is. But like actual like videos that you enjoyed like seeing and then seeing it like in person. I think it's pretty cool. So the other thing was, and that's why I said I wrote a comment because in Pennsylvania for my favorite zombie movie, the 1990 version, the remake of Night of the Living Dead. Tom Savini is the one who produces it or directs it, and it's a house in like a farmhouse in Pennsylvania, and then there's a graveyard in the very beginning of the scene in Pennsylvania. I want to go. I want to take a trip on the bike and go see it. So obviously several hours away, but it's on a list. It's on my list. I think that'd be really cool to do that. What else? Oh yeah, and the other one is Shaun of the Dead, which is a zombie movie, but it's a comedy. I could almost back in the day I could quote that movie. Like I rarely watch like a movie twice because there's so many other movies to watch. Like I'm good. Unless my wife wants to watch it or something like that. But typically I want to watch something different. And she or excuse me, then but the Shaun of the Dead I probably watched that in Office Space like 20 times. I mean, realistically, like over the years. Yeah. So it's a very if those who don't know it, Simon Pegg, uh, hilarious movie. Just like some dry humor, just like some real subtle like comedy, like humor and stuff, but actually pretty gory. Like it could be standalone. Like if it wasn't taken as a joke, most of them their interactions, then it could actually be like a legitimate like scary movie. But that being said, like George Romero, you back? Yeah, what's up, Rascal? Yeah, George Romero is the goat, and I don't know if you know it. But, there's a Call of Duty Zombies game. Well, Call of Duty and Zombies, um, is one of the things that they put in the game. But he was actually one of the bosses in one of 'em. I don't remember which one. It was like a DLC, like, downloadable content. Is that what it's called? DLC? Yeah. Anyway, basically, it was like extra after the game, after the game, you could, download it or buy it and download it. He's one of the he carries around like a light or something like that, like from a movie set, and you have to shoot. I think you hurt him, and it changes the light color, so you know he's almost gone. But then he comes back like you work like 5 rounds to try to take him out. You take him out, and then 2 rounds later he pops back up. And I'm like, what's the point? But he constantly like chases you around, so it's pretty cool. There's a lot of like references to George Romero because yes, he is the man, or was the man, still is. Now he's a real zombie. But he's had some cameos, almost like Stan Lee. What else? Oh, so the only thing like today, I think in scary movies, and I was mentioning Rascal, I was mentioning Freddy Krueger, I thought was your favorite, but he'd never catch me because I never sleep. I wonder why. Just kidding. I had a nap today. Had an old man nap. What I was gonna say, like the only thing today that actually is like decently scary because it's just so hard to make a scary movie that's not cheesy are the paranormal, like paranormal movies. The Conjuring. I'll stop here probably, but The Conjuring, the first one, is the first movie I saw that was actually like, this is awesome. Like this is scary. Like it's intense 24/7. And what I mean by that, typically, typically, stuff would happen at night. This is a scary movie, right? Stuff happens at night or paranormal, whatever. The wife or the husband or the kid sees it, and then the next day they talk about it and they say, "Oh, you're just seeing things. Oh, you're just overtired. You're overworked, whatever." Yeah, you're probably right. And then the dinner time, and then they go back at night, and you know something's gonna happen, and it happens again. And the next day, I'm telling you, I'm serious. I saw it. Da, 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 wait. Look, we just bought this house. I just want. We got away from all this from the city. This is our dream house. Blah blah. That's how all these movies are. Build up, whatever climax or whatever at night, and then boom, back down. Plot, story, whatever. Find out why there's a haunting at the house. Blah blah blah, whatever. Tortured spirit, everything. At night, there's something. The Conjuring was like always up here because it would be in the daytime and something would happen. It would be at nighttime and something would happen. It'd be the morning, the evening, whatever, and something would happen. And that was what was so cool about those, or at least the original one, or the first two. You could never like feel comfortable in that movie. There's one scene where I think she moves. I don't know if it's the first one or the second one. Getting goosebumps. Yeah, love it. There's one scene where they move to a different house, and then like she's taking the trash out, and there's a record playing, and all of a sudden like it scratches and plays a different song. And it's like that's I don't remember the guy's name. But it's like tiptoe at the window in the tulips, or something called tulips or something, tiptoe by the tulips. Anyway, it's really weird how the person sings it, and it's creepy, and she hears it, and she's taking the trash out. She looks in the window, and there's like a little person, a midget, like a leprechaun size. I don't know. It was really cool because then she realized like it came with her, and she didn't escape it by leaving the house, or it got on something that was in the belongings that she brought with. So anyway, yeah, it was really cool. That's like the only really scary movie. Like monsters now, like I mean, you can only make so many versions of a movie. Like when the camera opens up and like they open the refrigerator and you can't see, and then they close the refrigerator and there's something behind it to scare it, or the music gets real high, like high pitch, like, and then nothing happens, or like a jump scare, and it's like either there's gonna be nothing or there's gonna be something, but how the music like raises the tension up and stuff like that, suspense. But you're either way, you're like you're not gonna be surprised. One of those things. Rascal. I remember my mom got me the 1968. That's okay. That's the exact year. The 1968 Night of the Living Dead VHS for my 10th birthday. Yes, sir. So that's awesome. I had, I had it. I had the colorized version. I had the director's cut for the for the Day of the Dead. No, Dawn of the Dead, where it was like the extended cut. It was like the European version. It was the standard version. It was like I know it was like behind the scenes or something, whatever. It was like a 4 disc. I was all into it. I just recently, like this year, we like downsized a lot of stuff and just donated like a bunch of movies. We kept a handful of movies, but I kept all my zombie movies and I think Shaun of the Dead. Well, that counts as a zombie movie. I kept like a handful of movies, but all my zombie movies I kept. My Romero, George Romero and stuff. Yeah. All right. I think that was it. I think I got one more thing, which is just real quick. Yeah, episode 132. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So the thing I keep alluding to is tomorrow's video. Like I said, I'm gonna try to export it now, and then figure out title, description, thumbnail, throw it up there, and there it is. But basically, I for to keep the seasonality for it, the Halloween theme going, I go around, I find like called a haunt map, and basically like there's thumbtacks like on Google Maps, and like they're color coordinated. Like the black thumbtacks are like supposedly like a must see. Like basically people decorate their house. So I put in like 9, I think I went over 9, but I did like 9 locations, Google Maps, like coordinated them to like I guess the from closest to furthest, where I was, stop off Wawa, got a couple of Monsties, and then went all on my way. And I just stopped, seeing the scene and stuff like that. So that's the video tomorrow. It was pretty fun to make, and I mean I always enjoy making the videos and riding on the motorcycle to film it. But there's a lot of man, there's a lot of storage. People either have it in storage or they what do you call it? Their attic is covered in Halloween decorations. So I talk about how I feel about Christmas in that video too, as a little funny thing. I go over the Bible school story, but I acted out a little bit. Of course, having a 360, it worked well, and just goof around, I guess. Overall, like I said, I am myself, but it's fun. It's cool. I'll go do the same thing, like I said, for Christmas. And, find some areas and stuff. And there's some people that go all out where it's like they have like a radio frequency of like that matches up, however much that costs, matches up with the decorations and stuff. Probably during the daytime because it gets pretty cold at night, even around here. Not that Dakota cold, the rascal you got, North Dakota or whatever. But I always mix it up. North Dakota, South Dakota. I'm pretty sure you're North Dakota. Even colder. Anyway, I guess that's it. I think we're done. Done. Hit everything? Sneak peek. Yep. Boom. I talked quite a bit for like an over an hour for the first part before I got into any of the agenda. But I'm gonna work on the live stuff. You may see me pop in sometime. I got a house sit during the 5 day next week, so into next week I probably won't be around. Um, but maybe Monday, Tuesday I might pop in for just a quick live, test some things or whatever. And I really need to get on that gaming channel. That's separate. Anyway, and there's a studio channel. Anyway, different topic. I'm loving the holiday theme you're doing. Yeah, dude, I'm a big fan of horror in Halloween in yeah, North Dakota. That's right. That's right. I was pretty sure it was North Dakota. Of course, if there's a 50-50 chance, a good chance I'll get it wrong. So anyway, look forward to watching y'all's videos, commenting on yours. Those who go live, rascal. If I'm off, I'm available. I'm definitely going to see it. I knew that Moto Alley mentioned that he was going to go live, I think, on the 31st. I go back to work then, but he's going to say something or make a video, talk about his 1,000 subscriber where he gained. So congratulations again. Moto Alley might be watching the playback. So awesome work. Keep it up. And those who, all that came by, I really appreciate y'all sticking around during the technical difficulties as usual. It wouldn't be a firefighter live stream without at least something wrong. So that's it. I'm gonna let dog out. I appreciate y'all very much. Enjoy Halloween. Be careful. Look both ways. All that good stuff. Eat lots of candy. Where's this button? Yeah. Thank you.